In March 2024, Karim Badur, the engineer and owner of the YouTube channel Journey Through Time, embarked on a new adventure to explore ancient Egyptian civilization. A civilization that has always captivated people's minds and raised questions about the meanings of life, death, and spiritual reincarnation. Karim had always been fascinated by Egyptian artifacts, and his passion grew every day for the mysterious stories that have yet to be uncovered. During one of his recent trips, Karim decided to visit the city of Amarna in Minya Governorate, one of Egypt's most prominent archaeological sites, which houses the tomb of Akhenaten, the famous pharaoh who initiated a religious revolution in ancient Egypt by worshiping the sun as the sole god. However, what Karim didn't expect was to find himself in front of a strange story that could almost be considered fictional. While he was touring the areas surrounding Akhenaten's tomb with his archaeological team, Karim decided to meet the tomb guard, a man named Kamal Murad Jalal. Over time, Karim noticed something strange that couldn't be ignored. Kamal bore an astonishing resemblance to Akhenaten. Kamal, a kind man who started his job guarding the tomb in 1996, was no ordinary man. Although he was in his 70s, he appeared to be in good health and full of energy. When Karim began filming Kamal during a tour of the tomb, the image he captured at one point raised deep questions. Upon reviewing the images later, Karim felt that Kamal looked remarkably similar to Akhenaten. What drew his attention even more was the fact that Kamal wasn't just an ordinary tomb guard. He knew everything about the tomb and all the details surrounding Akhenaten in an astonishing way. It was as if there was a hidden connection between him and the pharaoh. Karim shared the photo on social media platforms, where it garnered a wide response. Some people commented on the striking resemblance between Kamal and Akhenaten. The story began to gain attention from Egyptian newspapers and magazines. Over time, Kamal started to speak about Akhenaten in a strange way. He didn't speak about him like any other person. It was as if he knew him personally. When asked about the resemblance, Kamal said, "It's a strange feeling, but I've always felt like Akhenaten lives inside me." He would recount stories about Akhenaten's wisdom and said that the pharaoh's ideas were very close to his own. In one of his interviews, Kamal pointed out that he had always felt a spiritual connection to Akhenaten, and perhaps a part of his soul had transferred to him through time. Kamal wasn't just a regular tomb guard. As he started talking about his relationship with Akhenaten, a strange idea began to emerge: the concept of spiritual reincarnation. He spoke about the connection between the soul and places, how the places that contain artifacts could be vessels for spiritual energy. He believed there was a connection between him and Akhenaten, and that the soul might return to bodies across time. But things didn't stop there. Kamal began speaking about his relationship with the Sun Temple of Aten, the temple where Akhenaten worshipped the sun god exclusively. Kamal said that Akhenaten's relationship with Aten wasn't just a religious practice, it was a philosophy of life. Akhenaten viewed this philosophy as a way to change society and free it from old constraints. One day, Kamal mentioned that he had felt something unusual at the site. He said, "Every time I pass by the tomb or sit inside it, I feel something alive, as if the soul is still there, beating with life." On some occasions, he felt as though Akhenaten himself was watching him, or perhaps he was Akhenaten himself, bringing life to his body every time he entered the tomb. Kamal would say that he felt as though he was walking in Akhenaten's footsteps with every step. He would say that sometimes Akhenaten would inspire him or send him messages, perhaps through dreams or deep moments of contemplation in the tomb. A group of Egyptian scientists began studying the matter, questioning whether there might be some form of spiritual reincarnation or what could be described as a spiritual connection across time. Some scientists suggested that the ancient Egyptians believed souls could remain alive and might pass between bodies over time. However, there were doubts among many in the scientific community about this idea. They considered it to be mere superstition and felt the matter was nothing more than an odd coincidence between two people. But others argued that there was something deeper than what meets the eye, and that souls might leave traces in the places they inhabited, and these places could still carry their spiritual energy long after their owners' deaths. While the debate continued over Kamal's story, similar stories began to surface from other places. For instance, There were stories of people who felt a spiritual connection to other historical figures, such as Queen Nefertiti or Tutankhamun. All of these stories reinforce the idea that ancient Egyptian civilization holds secrets that have yet to be uncovered. Kamal wasn't the only one who felt this spiritual connection. There were other people who claimed to have experienced a supernatural force in archaeological sites. Some believed that these individuals might have had their souls reincarnated into other bodies over time, carrying messages from the past with them. What began as a simple incident at Akhenaten's tomb became the talk of the town around the world. What was behind this incredible resemblance? Was there a supernatural force linking Kamal to Akhenaten? Or was it just a strange coincidence? While the answer to this question remains open, ancient Egyptian history remains full of unsolved mysteries. I believe these stories deserve to be told and studied because in every corner of that ancient civilization, there's a secret waiting to be discovered. Thanks to his passion and the unending discoveries, the debate about whether Kamal was merely a tomb guard or if he was indeed Akhenaten reincarnated continues. The great pharaohs left behind an unforgettable legacy, and now the question remains for you. Do you believe that Kamal is the true reincarnation of Akhenaten? Or is there another explanation for what's happening in these mysterious places?